Here we are then at the longest racetrack on the Formula One calendar. Welcome to the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps for today's practice session.
Alright guys, so here we are with F1 2016 Career Mode. Today we're here for round 12 of Season 1 of the Career Mode Championship, driving for McLaren Honda here at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. Starting off here in FP1 on Friday, like always, as we can see the Renault Sport team here getting everything together for the start of this session.
We're going to be logging some extra data during this session. Nothing you need to worry about, but as we have some new parts, we'll just confirm their performance.
So you heard the engineer there talking about some new upgrades that will be coming onto the car, which we'll be testing in this practice session and which will hopefully be implemented once we come into the next round, which will be in Italy. So 45 minutes in this first practice session of the weekend. You can see the setup on screen here.
When you get a chance, make sure to run some of our practice programs. They don't all need to be done in one session, but there's valuable data there to help race strategy and car development.
The engineer Jeff there again explaining about the practice programs, but I went with a preset like I often do, but I changed some sliders on there to make it kind of suit my own preferences there. So yeah, driving out of the pits now for the first time this weekend and starting off with the track acclimatization like you would expect for the start of FP1. So coming up to the end of our out lap here, we haven't started our timed lap yet, but coming through the bus stop chicane now, we will be on the way for the first lap of the track acclimatization program. So looking to you're not really looking for competitive times. You're just looking to hit the apexes and carry as much corner speed as possible through the corners and on the straights, just to get those resource points for the track acclimatization, because I think you can earn a maximum of 30 resource points per practice program. So we really need those points, but actually talking about it, I completely mess up the exit of Eau Rouge, and so that is the first lap of this track acclimatization program pretty much ruined here. As you can see, I just, this was my first lap back on the game in I think a few weeks, so I definitely wasn't used to this circuit, and I just turned in a little bit too much to the right and hit the grass there, which unsettled the car and spun me around. A pretty noobish mistake if you ask me, but yeah, now this is the end of my first lap. It of course wasn't anywhere near competitive since I made that mistake, but now in our second lap it is so far looking quite good, having the first acclimatization point purple, so so far it's looking very good. Now this time coming through Eau Rouge, this time I take it quite well. Luckily I didn't spin out this time, so yeah, now fast forwarding a little bit ahead in this lap, we actually have a bit of a tow of the car in front. I'm not sure who it is, but it looks like it's Romain Grosjean. Yes, it is. I think I deliberately slowed down on my first lap because I just completely backed out of it since it was a very slow lap and let Grosjean through to have a bit of a line of slipstream during this lap. I always like to have someone in front of me, but oh sorry, it's actually Gutierrez, sorry. I thought it was Grosjean, but apparently it's not, as we come very close there to the back of Gutierrez and almost plowing into the back of him. I actually locked up the tire a bit trying to avoid him, as you can see on the replay here, really breaking it very deep in there and just about missing the back of the Haas car from Esteban Gutierrez. So carrying on with the lap now, I think this second acclimatization lap is quite good. I think it was a green score, so yeah, that's pretty alright. Now on this third lap I completely missed the corner. I completely missed the first corner, but I still really turned to the right and still got the acclimatization point, so that was quite lucky there. Bit of a cheat, but yeah, I'll take it. I still got the green score. Now coming through Eau Rouge for the third time, I have a massive oversteer moment, overcorrecting into the wall, and we've lost our front wing, so that's this third track acclimatization program done, as we have Lewis Hamilton there really close to us. He almost plowed into us there on the exit of Eau Rouge. As you can see here, just completely losing the car there, and then look at Hamilton here just about missing us there. He's just saw him flying by there. So yeah, I returned into the pits after that, and now this is my second run here in this first practice session. I'm currently in last position, which is to expect, because the track acclimatization, you don't really set your fastest times during that session anyway, so especially if you're making mistakes like I'm doing at this moment. As you can see, I slowed down there on my outlap to let my teammate Jensen Button go through, so we can have a bit of a teamwork here, trying to drag ourselves to a better time by having a bit of a toe of our teammate. So coming into the first corner now, this time taking it quite well and looking to not really get over there on the exit here. It looks to have been pretty good so far. Now coming up Eau Rouge for the 4th time this practice session. Hopefully this time we'll be able to negotiate it well as we now come through the corner. Yeah, clip the apex nicely, don't want to cut it of course. And now getting a beautiful line of slipstream from our teammate here. This is really going to gain us a lot of time, as we're now skipping ahead a little bit to the end of our 5th lap in this session. This time picking up a toe of Carlos Sainz there in front of us. As we now skip ahead, as we're coming over the back straight now, about a 10th up on our previous time, still in last position at this current moment. Remember that this is on ultimate AI difficulty of course, but we haven't put in a competitive time yet, so hopefully this lap will be good enough to get ourselves a little bit further into the midfield maybe. So yeah, we have Carlos Sainz in front of us, not really giving us slipstream, but that's not really too bad because that also means that he's not giving us dirty air, and it does help you a little bit by having a car in front of you like that, because you're kind of target fixating on him and kind of using him as a steering pointer. I don't really know how to translate it, but it does kind of make you drive towards it, resulting in a better lap time. That's how I feel anyway. But yeah, coming through the final sector now, so far this lap has been pretty clean. Which is all you need really in a practice session. Of course, I'm not really pushing flat out because this is not a qualifying session. You're just trying to get used to the track and trying to get some clean laps in and some consistency going as well. Which, you know, we've only done 6 laps in this session, which is not a lot, but of course there are still 2 other practice sessions this weekend before we go into qualifying, so it's not too bad. Now coming through the boss stop chicane, kind of missing the second part of the chicane there, but having a decent exit there out of the final corner. Let's see where it puts us, and it's 18th place, so you know, it's better than last. We're not really setting the world on fire, but hey, 18th place to start off with in this weekend in FP1 is nothing to be ashamed of really. Looking at our teammate Jensen Button, he's in 13th place on a set of medium tires, I believe. I can't actually remember what tires I was on. I think it might have been mediums as well. I can't remember using the softs, but I'm not sure about that, so don't quote me on that. So this is now practice 2. Doing the tire wear test now for this second practice session of the weekend. As we skip a bit ahead now on our outlap, again letting our teammate Jensen Button go through there to yeah, help us out on the straights. Maybe I could even overtake him on the back straight, which will help Jensen also a bit with having a bit of slipstream. So yeah, tire wear test now. We of course need to you know, save the tires a bit, keep the degradation within the green or purple range while beating the target time. So we have a delta to stick to, which is actually quite difficult on ultimate AI. So we actually get so much slipstream that we actually have to overtake our teammate here, as we have a little bit of argy-bargy there going through those flowing corners, and that was a little bit scary, and not, I think Jensen won't be very happy about that, but I really can't afford to lose time on this lap, because like I said, there is a delta I have to stick to, and if I'm not under the target time, the data we get from the tire wear won't count. So so far we're actually doing really well. The bar there is in the purple score. As I say that, we go through Eau Rouge, and oh, not Eau Rouge, I mean Pool, and the bar goes completely to the left into the green zone, but now again it's going back into the purple zone. So far the first lap of this tire wear test is looking pretty solid, as we now come through Pool again. This time on the second lap, you can see the tire wear, especially on the right tire, is really heavy through there. Of course, there's a lot of load and a lot of G-forces generated there, which puts a lot of stress on the front tire. As we now come throh Blanchimont and actually get tagged by our teammate there into the wall. And that is this practice program over. I think Jensen Button is completely out of this session. I think he lost both wheels. Let's look at the replay there. I didn't even realize he was there. We kind of turn in on him. Jensen is out of this session. I've lost part of my front wing. Somehow we did not destroy our car there. I don't know how that happened. This is our onboard from the TV cam, and you can see that I don't know whose fault that was. I kind of turned in a little bit on him, but I didn't expect Jensen to overtake me, especially at that point of the circuit. You could see there from Felipe Massa, who was chilling behind us, that we just take each other out there. This is on board from Jensen Button. You can see me there on the right. I just didn't realize his nose was alongside me. I turn in, Jensen is in the wall, lost both of his wheels on the left hand side there, as you can see from the helicopter shot as well. So yeah, controversy happening in this second practice session. Both the teammates taking each other out. Luckily we're still in this session, but our practice program is pretty much ruined. So I returned back into the pits and restarted the program, and this time on the medium tires. I think I was on the soft tires before. This time having a tow of Kevin Magnussen and K-Mag in front of us, the Danish driver. So coming up to Eau Rouge now. The tire bar is still in the green and our delta is still in the green too. A little bit of a corner cut there through Eau Rouge, but it wasn't too bad, so hopefully you won't quote me on that. Anyway, coming into the, I don't know what this corner is called actually. I should know it. I completely forgot how this section is called. Anyway, still driving behind Magnussen, and yeah, running out a bit too wide there on the exit of that corner. Now coming into this corner, we have a lot of oversteer there on the braking, so I really had to counter correct there as we now come through the corner with no name. And yeah, looking at the delta there, this slipstream of Kevin Magnussen is definitely helping us, but here through Poulon it will give us some dirty air, and the tire wear is definitely getting a bit too close for comfort to the red part of the bar there. Now coming through the final sector of the circuit, and it looks like Magnussen might be holding us up a little bit, but it will give us a little bit of slipstream onto this straight with Blanchimont. So Kevin has actually pulled away a little bit from us, but our delta is still green, so yeah, it's still looking quite solid right now. Again, last in the session, but that's because my first lap wasn't that good, and in my second lap I of course got taken out. So having a snap of oversteer there on the exit, luckily we're still in the green, so we get a green score now coming over the line. And I think we'll push on for this second lap as well. Of course we will, because we're in a practice program, so we need to do 7 consecutive laps in a row to complete the program with as much points as possible. So I think we're still picking up a little bit of slipstream from Kevin Magnussen in front of us there. Again, cutting slightly there through Eau Rouge, but hopefully you guys will yeah, agree with it. And yeah, now coming to the, again, I don't know this corner name. I really should, but I don't. I'm almost like team at Bottleduck, really forgetting all the corner names. Having a snap of oversteer there on the exit of the corner, which won't help our tire wear that much. Actually, it won't at all, but anyway. Still being a little bit unstable in the rear there. Of course, the corner we just went through is downhill, so the back end gets loose there. Talking about the back end getting loose, we have a lot of oversteer there on the exit. Kevin Magnussen is slowing up in front of us for some reason and really holds us up there, which won't do our lap time any good. Luckily our delta time is still in the green, but Kevin definitely didn't help me out there. I had to go around him through Poulon, so this lap is pretty much ruined. Well, the time is still decent, but my tire is in a red, so this second lap will be a red score, unfortunately, which won't help our points for this practice program. So coming up to the line, yeah, heavy tire right there. We still get 5 points, but that's not really something you want to see. As we now continue on with this third lap, having a bit of oversteer there on the exit of the first corner. This time coming through Poulon again. This time the tire bar is slightly in the green. Now it's actually, yeah, it goes back into the green more now. But look at our delta there. It's like flickering between red and green. So we're really you know, cutting it closer with our delta time, because if we are above the delta time, then we won't get any resource points at all. This time, having again a bit of a tow of Kimi Räikkönen, I am like, I don't know if you guys watch MotoGP, I know some of you do, and Moto2 and Moto3 as well. I'm a bit like Mattia Passini in that I always try to look for tows and try to have someone in front of me that can drag me along the circuit. And I really like to have someone in front of me, so this time I've picked Kimi Räikkönen since he's in a fast Ferrari. A little bit too fast because he's pulling away from me, as you can see here. But in the braking zone here I close up a little bit on him. And yeah, coming through this section of corners as well. Of course, talking about Moto3, I just mentioned it before. Of course, in that class, you in the qualifying sessions and in practice session, it's pretty much unbelievable how much the riders are trying to look at each other and trying to find tows, because it's really, yeah, it's crazy really how hectic those sessions are. But anyway, this is not Moto 3, this is a Formula 1 game, so now coming through the end of our fourth lap. Again, the tire wear is too heavy and I was above the delta as well, so this lap won't count. So we have had 3 red scores in a row now, which isn't what you want to see. This time taking the first corner quite well though, and yeah, coming to the end of this practice program. It's already lap 5 of 7, so I won't think that long before we get the official results of the entire program. Now coming through this section of corners again, having a green sector there, or a green delta, which is very nice to see. Hopefully we can continue this form until the end of the lap. So coming through the corner with No Name again, back down into 4th gear, now accelerating again out of the corner as we now come through the the final sector of the Grand Prix of the lap. Again, the delta time is there in the red zone, so we definitely need to work on our final sector because it seems like we are losing time there. Again, now riding the curb there on the exit, which really harms our tire wear there. Having a little bit of a lock-up, I think, into the bus stop chicane. Yeah, and this lap won't do it as well. So out of the 5 laps we have done now, we have only had 1 green score, which isn't good enough. So yeah, this is looking quite tricky here. I might have to rerun the program in practice 3 or at the end of practice 2 to get a better score, because we really need those resource points to develop the car. Now on our 6th lap of this practice program, and also our 6th lap of this session, since this is the first program we do, this time again being under the delta time, but we have a snap of OC there on the exit of the corner with No Name, which put the bar back in the red zone again, and Puron there definitely didn't help with our score there, but now it should go back towards the green score again as we come through this section. This seems to be a little bit less stressful on the tires as we have a mess over there again there, which doesn't help, but somehow we're still in the green zone. Now coming through this really fast section of the track, I clipped the grass there a little bit, which completely ruined my tires as Lewis Hamilton goes past us, which will help us a little bit with our time, hopefully with a bit of a line of slipstream. However, it won't really help us if Hamilton drives like that, because it blocks us coming into the chicane now, which is going to cost us about a tenth or two as we now open up the DRS, and again having a high tire wear score for this lap. So now our 7th lap of this session, it looks like we won't have enough resource points to have a decent score, since our the last 5 laps were in the red zone. So this time we have Lewis Hamilton in front of us, which is very nice since he is the quickest guy on the track at this moment. However, in saying that, he is already pulling away from us, so we won't really have the benefit of slipstream. But yeah, coming over the back straight, the delta time is still in the green zone as we now follow Hamilton through this section of corners, coming into this right-hander now, and now diving down into this right-hander. Really easy to lock up the right front tire there. Looks to have avoided it so far as you now come through the corner with No Name, turning left here for this section as you now power it out of the corner, coming up to a pole, which is a really demanding corner on the tire wear. Turning left here, clipping the apex of the corner. We have, I think, the other Mercedes of Nico Rosberg behind us, so we'll have to watch out for him. Maybe let him pass to benefit from his slipstream, but yeah, we really need a green or a purple score on this lap, since it is a pretty disappointing practice program so far. Now coming through the final sector, having a little bit of oversteer there on the exit of the corner, tagging Rosberg, and we are into the gravel trap, which is really annoying since this practice program was already so bad. As you can see on the replay here, just having the snap of oversteer there on the exit, which resulted me in correcting into Rosberg, which has completely ruined our lap here and our practice program. As you can see here, just yeah, that was really unlucky. If Rosberg wouldn't have been there, I still would have made the corner with a little bit of time loss. But yeah, as you can see from the third person camera here, it really yeah, Rosberg couldn't have really done a lot about it. I think it was a bit of a racing incident, but yeah, having another angle at it, as you can see from Rosberg's POV. But carrying on now, we are facing the wrong way, so I tried to drive a little bit into the opposite direction to flick the car around once the track is clear, as we are now trying to find our way round, and we have been disqualified from the session for driving in the wrong way. And that means that also all our data for this practice program is not saved, and we just get absolutely blown up by Force India there. Ended up in last place in the session. So this practice program couldn't have really gone any worse, could it? So that's quite disappointing that I also lost all of the data. So yeah, it's quite stupid that I got disqualified there for driving into the wrong direction because I was just trying to turn around. But anyway, we are now exiting the pits for our qualifying session, of course, having only a single 18-minute qualifying session here. So this is now our first flying lap, looking to negotiate a Rouge quite well here. But I actually touched the grass there on the inside of the corner, and we've gone straight into the wall. So, and that is qualifying over as well. Just to top off this weekend, we've had so much bad luck so far this weekend with all the practice programs and whatnot. And now on our first lap, I make a stupid mistake and go into the wall like that. And that means that we'll be starting from last place for the race, which is very disappointing. I was actually really looking forward to this qualifying session. I already had a strategy planned and everything, but it's all gone out the window because I completely bottled it up a Rouge, like I did in practice as well 2 or 3 times. So yeah, we'll be starting from last place for the race, which I will upload in the next video, because including all practice, qualifying and the race in one video will really be too long, considering I've already been going on for about 20 minutes so far in this video. So if you're wondering why I'm filming this, is because there went something wrong with downloading the final part of my career mode video, so that's why this part is filmed from my screen. So that's why the quality was quite bad. But just as I was going on, I was just, let's film a little bit of my setup just to top of this video. So yeah, yes, that's been the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Remember to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.